Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a sweet and kind young girl named Cinderella. She lived with her mean stepmother and 2 stepsisters. They all lived in a big house with a lovely garden, but Cinderella's life was far from happy. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were very unkind to her. They made her do all the chores around the house, from sweeping the floors to washing the dishes. Cinderella never complained, though. She was a gentle and patient girl, always hoping for better days. One day, an exciting announcement came to the kingdom. The king was throwing a grand ball at the royal palace. It was a ball like no other, and everyone in the kingdom was invited. The purpose of this magnificent event was to find a suitable bride for the king's son, Prince Charming. Cinderella's stepsisters were overjoyed when they received their invitations. They immediately started planning what they would wear and how they would do their hair. They spent hours looking for the most beautiful dresses and jewelry in the kingdom. As for Cinderella, she was simply happy for her stepsisters and helped them get ready for the ball. As the days passed, Cinderella couldn't help but dream about attending the royal ball herself. She wished she could go and meet the prince, but she knew it was impossible. Her stepmother and stepsisters would never allow it. Cinderella spent her days doing chores and dreaming of a better life. One evening, as Cinderella was sitting by the fireplace, feeling very sad, a soft and gentle voice spoke to her. It was her fairy godmother, who had been watching over her all along. With a wave of her wand, the fairy godmother transformed Cinderella's ragged clothes into a beautiful gown, and on her feet appeared the most exquisite glass slippers. But there was one catch. The fairy godmother warned Cinderella. The magic would only last until midnight. At the stroke of midnight, everything would return to normal. Cinderella thanked her fairy godmother with all her heart and promised to return before midnight. Cinderella arrived at the royal palace in her beautiful gown, and everyone was stunned by her beauty. She looked like a true princess. Prince Charming saw her from across the room and was immediately drawn to her. He asked her to dance, and Cinderella felt like she was floating on air as they glided across the dance floor. Cinderella and the prince danced and talked all night. They felt a deep connection, and Cinderella had never been happier in her life. However, as the clock on the palace wall struck midnight, she remembered her promise to her fairy godmother. She had to leave the palace before the magic wore off. With a hurried goodbye to the prince, Cinderella ran down the grand staircase. In her haste, she left behind one of her glass slippers. The prince chased after her, but by the time he reached the palace entrance, all he found was the delicate glass slipper. Cinderella made it home just in time. Her beautiful gown had turned back into rags, and her glass slippers had become old, worn-out shoes. She smiled to herself, though, knowing that she had experienced a magical night at the palace. The next day, the prince was determined to find the mysterious girl who had captured his heart. He decided to visit every house in the kingdom and ask the young ladies to try on the glass slipper that had been left behind. If the slipper fit, he would know that he had found his true love. The first house they visited was Cinderella's. Her stepsisters eagerly tried to force their feet into the glass slipper, but it was too small for them. When it was Cinderella's turn, her stepsisters laughed and mocked her. They were certain that the slipper would never fit her. To everyone's amazement, the glass slipper slid onto Cinderella's foot perfectly. It was a perfect fit. The prince knew he had found his beloved, and he was overjoyed. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were left in shock and disbelief. Cinderella was taken to the royal palace, where she was reunited with Prince Charming. They were married in a beautiful ceremony, and Cinderella became the princess of the kingdom. She was kind and loving to everyone, and her gentle nature won over the hearts of all the people in the land.